Hey y'all, it's Brody, and today I'm here to recommend you some books that I think are perfect for fall. I've got some adult, some YA, some middle grade, so just all across the board, and we're just gonna go one by one. The first one I have to recommend to you is Pet by Akweke Emezi. This follows a girl named Jam and her best friend Redemption as they are growing up in this town called Lucille. And everyone in the town of Lucille knows that monsters used to exist, but they were all banished by the angels. So everyone is safe, and there's no more monsters in Lucille until there are. Jam accidentally bleeds onto one of her mother's paintings and it opens up a portal that lets in a monster, and the monster tells her, like, there's something bad in this town, I have to fix it. I like the way that it builds up to the climax, and the twists in it. I think it was really good, especially for such a short book. If you're looking for something that you can knock out in like one sitting, I recommend Pet. The next book I have for you is The Beautiful by Renee Audier. This book is set in 1870s New Orleans, and it follows our protagonist Celine, who has just joined a convent. She's run away from home and joined a convent to escape her past. And she meets some very interesting, kind of unusual people in New Orleans, and then bodies start to turn up, and it's a vampire novel. It's a vampire novel. Don't listen to anyone who tells you that there's no vampires in this. There's subtle vampirism in this. The sequel to this book, The Damned, came out a couple of months ago, and I believe it's going to be a quartet. They're pretty chunky, so it'll take you a couple days to get through. But I really enjoyed it, and I think you would too, if you like the subtle vampires. Next, if you're looking for more of a thrillery recommendation, I am always going to recommend My Sister, the Serial Killer by Oyenkon Braithwaite. It's so good. This follows two sisters, Korede and Ayula, and Korede is the more responsible older sister. She's a nurse. She, has a full-time job, and she kind of tries to hold Ayula down, keep her level-headed, right? Ayula is a little bit more of a party girl. She likes to flirt, she likes to go out, and she has a lot of boyfriends, and they all end up murdered in self-defense. Because Korede doesn't want her sister to get in trouble, she always goes and helps her dispose of the bodies and stuff until Ayula starts to flirt with the man that Korede is in love with. This book is written in a really interesting way. The chapters are very short, so they're almost just like vignettes that you're looking into the characters' lives. I really enjoyed it. I like Korede as a protagonist. I think it's fantastically done. I feel like this is also a really underrated book. I rarely hear people talking about it that often, and I think you should read it. This is one of the best adult thrillers I've ever read, so. I have a YA slasher, and if you're following me on Twitter, you probably already know that this is Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Caesar. I've been singing this book's praises all month long. I loved it. Like I said, this is a YA slasher that follows Quinn Maybrook as she and her father move from Philadelphia to the town of Kettle Springs, which has a mascot named Friendo the Clown. And after a prank goes wrong at a parade, shit kind of hits the fan. All the teenagers in town go to a party where Friendo starts murdering them one by one. 5 out of 5 stars. Easy 5 out of 5 stars. Fantastic. I loved it. Great gruesome kills. If you like slasher movies, then get your hands on this one. Next I have, I think, one of the cutest middle grades that I have ever read, and that is Ghost Squad by Claribel A. Ortega. This follows two friends named Sid and Lucely who accidentally cast a spell that releases all these malevolent spirits into their town. So Sid and Lucely have to team up with Sid's grandmother Babette, who is a witch, and Chunk, who is the cutest animal sidekick ever, and figure out how they're going to save the town and take down the ghosts. This is a very cute, quick middle grade. I highly recommend you read it. I think it's getting a movie. The next book I have is a more recent read, and that is Him Standing by Richard Wagamese. This is about an Ojibwe man named Luke Smoke, who is a carver by trade. He learned how to carve from his grandfather, so he does it for money on the pier. And one day he is approached by a mysterious stranger who offers him more money than he could ever dream to carve a spirit mask. But some spooky spirit stuff and dream stuff start happening, and it starts to get to Luke, so he and his girlfriend have to team up and figure out how they are going to get out of this mess. I went into this thinking it was a young adult novel, but it's not. I think in the age range, you would categorize it as new adult or just adult. Indigenous horror just like hits different for me, so would recommend you pick this up. It's also very short. It's very, very short. Next is one you probably expected me to talk about on here, and that is A Lot's Way by Darcy Little Badger. Y'all, just take a second and stare at this cover. Yes. Let's Play by Darcy Little Badger follows a Lapon Apache teenage girl named Ellie who can see and raise the dead. That's her family's thing. So Ellie's cousin comes to her in a dream and reveals that he has been murdered and asks for Ellie to take care of his family and avenge his death, so the rest of the book is her trying to do just that. I also have a spoiler-free review video of this that I will leave linked for you to go check out, so make sure you do that, where I talk more in depth about it. Next, I have a comic for you, and that is Secrets of Sinister House. This is 8 Nightmares from Comics' Most Twisted Talents. This is basically just 8 short comic stories from the DC universe. You have Vampire Batman, you have the Atom facing a giant worm, you have Zatanna and Harley Quinn fighting a deceased clown doctor. So you got some cool art. Vampire Batman. Spooky haunted house. Overall, I just really enjoyed it, and if you're looking for something to like throw on a TBR or like fulfill a readathon prompt, then you can probably get it done with this. It's only 80 pages. Next, I have another middle grade for you, and that is Caddy Whompus by Ash von Otterloo. I've talked about this a bit on my channel. I love this book with my whole heart. It takes place in a small Appalachian town called Howler's Hollow, and it follows 2 young witches named Delpha McGill and Katie Bird Hearn. They are from rival witch families. So one day, when the girls are fighting in the graveyard, they accidentally summon all of their dead ancestors who want to destroy everyone in the town and each other, and then the 2 girls have to put aside their differences and team up to save the town. This is cute, this is queer, this is wholesome, this made me very emotional. You have the cutest little raccoon friend, you have a shed that comes alive and runs around. It's fantastic, and I loved it, and I can't wait to see what Ash does next. And then finally, we have the book that inspired this video. You probably saw it from Twitter. It's Gustavo The Shy Ghost by Flavia Z. Drago. I don't know what it is, but this year the children's picture books have really just been like hitting me in my feelings, and I don't know, this is so relatable. Follows a ghost named Gustavo who really just wants to make friends and share his love of violin music with everyone, but he's too shy to make friends, so he decides to hold a party, a concert, so that he can make friends and they will come watch him shine and listen to his music. The back just says, Gustavo is a ghost, a very shy one. More than anything, he just wants to make a friend. Look at him in his little bow tie with his violin. I want to be Gustavo's friend so bad. His face. Will surprised me with this book after seeing that I said on Twitter that I needed it. And they read it to me. And it was very sweet. And they both cried. Answer this question for me. Has anyone else been like reading kids' picture books this year and just been really emotional about it? Because this is like the 3rd one I read this year that's made me cry. Like I said, if you just want something really cute and sweet that will make you cry, that because you can relate to it, because you're depressed and you don't have many friends and you're too awkward to make friends, like me, I recommend this book. That's all I have for you today. Comment question of the day: what's your favorite fall read? It doesn't have to be a spooky book, it doesn't have to be a horror novel or a thriller or anything, just something that gives you those good fall vibes. If you've read any of these books, then make sure you let me know what you thought about them down in the comments, but just remember to keep them spoiler free because we don't want to spoil anyone. If you would like to talk spoilers, then my Twitter DMs are open. Come chat with me about these. I am more than happy to talk books with you any day of the week. I kind of miss making recommendations videos. They used to be my favorite kinds of videos to make, so I'm glad I decided to sit down and do this one. And thank you to the couple of people who asked me to do this one. It was nice to just sit down and talk some books with you. Everything I mentioned today will be in the downstairs below, so make sure you go check that out. Links to my social media, so my Instagram, my Goodreads, and my Twitter, as well as places to support me further outside of YouTube if you so choose. Everything is in my link tree. Alright, I hope you have a wonderful, whatever it is, wherever you are. I will see you next time with another video. Thank you for watching. Okay, cool. Bye. Ooh. That felt good. Oh, there we go.